Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Cosmic Revolution YouTube channel. This is your astrology report for the week of July 6th. So we just had a really intense lunar eclipse on July 5th for those of you in the East Coast, but some of you had that July 4th, evening of on the West Coast. So definitely just want to remind you that eclipses are not in a bubble. They're not in a vacuum. You will feel the effects of that for 2 to 4 weeks after the eclipse. So we're in a time of deep shedding now. These next 2 weeks, check our Instagram at the Cosmic Revolution. We put up a post about things to release this Cancer season. And this could be a really good prompt for you of what you're being asked to let go of, what you're being asked to really look at. I like thinking about if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling in a spiral right now, get curious with that. All of those things are something from the universe that might be showing you, hey, a little cosmic breadcrumb to give you some insight into like what you should be releasing now. Okay, so that's the lunar eclipse in Capricorn. There's a lot more information on our Instagram about that, but now I'm going to get into the astrology for the week. So first I'll do the moon report, just so we know. The moon really helps set the theme for those days. It changes every 2.5 days. And looking at the moon helps us understand, okay, what are the mini shifts that we're going to be experiencing this week? So the Monday and Tuesday, the 6th and the 7th, the moon will be in Aquarius. So you can expect yourself to feel a little detached those days. You could feel yourself really in your head those days, which can lead to anxiety. But you also might want to use those days. Aquarius is the sign of the rebel who is the revolutionary for the collective. So if you've been having, some of your social justice work, if you feel like you've been lagging on it, those would be great days to pick up that protest sign a petition, get involved. I'm actually attending a march in Montauk today, very Aquarius moon. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 8th, 9th, 10th, we will have that moon in Pisces. And on those days, the moon will be going void of course. Actually, it's void of course all week. Let me check this here. Just double checking my notes before I say anything. Yes. We have that void of course moon really through the, okay. So we want to use those void of course moon all week to think about releasing, shedding, like I said, for the next 2 weeks. I just wanted to double confirm that. But yeah, that moon in Pisces, expect to have some really vivid dreams that 8th, 9th, 10th. Trust your downloads, trust the pulls you're getting. I like to tell my clients, anything that you're picking up on, signs, symbols, synchronicities from the universe, you're not crazy. You're probably just going through a deep spiritual awakening. So trust what comes up those days. Then we have on the 10th, starting actually on the 11th, early the morning of the 11th and 12th, we have the moon is in Aries. So that will be conjunct Mars, and we'll be having a lot of action. So I want you to trust your impulse as a form of intuition those days. If there's something you want to do, go for it. Also look out for anger, look out for irritability, look out for maybe feeling a little frustrated those days. Those could be good days to do some physical movement, some cardio, some high intensity, some fast-paced dance, some like boxing, kickboxing. That might feel good. If you feel any of that heat inside of you gathering up, let it out that way. Everything right now during this void of course moon is about shedding. So Aries moon maybe is a day to shed some anger. If you have a safe place to break some things, that feels really good. Crack some eggs. If you have like old bottles and you could break them in a way, put on some safety goggles in a way it doesn't hurt anyone, crack some bottles, punch a pillow. Those Aries moon days will feel good to release anger in a healthy way. Okay, so that's your moon report. And let's think what else this week. We're really still focusing on that Mars in Aries that happened last week. That happened on, June 27th, and Mars will be in Aries through January 6th. So from now until August, we're going to be having a lot of action, that Mars in Aries action. So if there's a project you have been wanting to start, we are still in a bunch of retrogrades, but maybe you can start taking inspired action on them. Notice you might not feel totally supported and going full throttle until Mercury goes direct on July 12th. But you can use these next 2 days to do like pre-prep, like really get serious on what that project that's being called to come out of you. I'm a big believer that connecting to your purpose is a spiritual practice. So if you have something you're feeling called to do, chances are with all of this astrological timing, it's part of a higher purpose. It's part of something that's connected to being of service, to supporting the collective. So I would definitely 1000% trust your intuition right now. Okay, so the other thing that I want to mention is going to be, and speaking to that Mars, we have on, let's see, where's my notes? July 8th. So that will be Wednesday. Mercury and Mars will be square. So that might feel like you've been holding in some important emotions. And that's the day that they might get released. So let's start before that doing some journaling, taking that to yourself, to your sense of reflection, sitting with those things, because probably come July 8th, it's going to be really hard to keep those bottled up. And you don't want to. You don't want to keep them bottled up. That doesn't serve you, doesn't serve anyone. So just make sure that you get ahead of that. So that way you don't take it out on the wrong person, or you don't get defensive. And also, it's that Mercury Mars. So it's thoughts, communications, words squaring up against that Mars and Aries, heat, frustration, irritability. So if you've been wanting to have a boundary talk, that could be a great day to do it. We're going to be sharing some stuff at the Cosmic Revolution Instagram on, how and why to create, why you want to create boundaries for yourself, why you want to recommit to your boundary practice. It's going to be really important. We're going to be giving you some great self-care tips, coaching tips for exactly how to do that. And then also on that day, they're also going to meet up again on July 27th. So you might be initiating some kind of cycle with taking action. The positive spectrum of that square is insight, initiative. You might be starting a project, and then by July 27th, you might have seen some headway with that. Okay, so I just want you to think about, there's just a lot of cycles closing out this Cancer, Capricorn. We've been going through this for the past few years, and we won't really have that Cancer, Capricorn access. We won't be on that again for 19 years. So there is a deep closing out. If you want to look at your chart and find where Capricorn hits 13 degrees in your chart, close to that, within like 10 degrees, is probably some kind of cycle you're closing out right now. I also want to point out that Venus, went direct, but won't be fully out of the shadow period until July 27th. So Venus went through some planets, then went backwards through them, and is now going back them through the third time. So if there's some sort of something that's been happening in your life in cycles of 3, I would pay attention to that. That has a big message for you, especially as it relates to love, finances, worthiness, all of those Venusian themes, especially in the lens of Gemini communications. Okay, so like I said, your job right now is to pay attention to signs, dreams, patterns, things that are triggering you. Pay attention, get curious, really sit in it, enjoy it, enjoy those triggers. It means that something is being waken up in you, something is being, a green light, a red arrow, whatever you want to call it, a blinking sign that's saying, hey, are you ready to release this? Are you ready to be done with this for once and for all? Look at it and then ask the universe, how, show me a sign, show me the way, how I can truly surrender, can truly release this thing for once and for all. Eclipses can help with healing and transformation work that would normally take years and years and years to do. So enjoy that quantum. Your job right now is just to really tune in to where you're being restricted. What's something that's holding you back from your soul growth? And how can you release that? And then take responsibility to be conscious of, you know, what are you doing with your behavior, your thoughts, your words, your actions? How are each of those things either helping your life expand, or where is it making your life contract? And also, where those behaviors, thoughts, words, and actions, how are they creating a new vibration, a new frequency for the collective? I'm going to be talking about that a bunch this week on my Instagram. The karma that we're in, the shadow that we're in with Pluto and Capricorn, with Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. It's all about karma. And like, you know, we're being asked to kind of come back to some old things that are in us, in our society, and kind of do better and heal them and approach them with a different frequency and vibration. And if we can do that, we will see a tremendous amount of healing, transmutation, transformation, transcendence, and growth, okay? And you're a part of that, okay? You are part of where we're moving to, this lighter, brighter universe, this more just, free world. Don't ever think that you don't have the power to change it. You do. It's right here in astrology. You are a galactic citizen. You are a star being. You are really painting the strokes of this world that we're creating, okay, with all of your thoughts, words, actions, and behaviors. So that's your Astro Report for this week, the week of July 6th. Let me know in the comments below, especially if you're a Cancer or Capricorn. This week is going to feel really full of a lot of growth. Actually, for all of my cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, let me know where you have that in your chart below. I'm always curious to hear. The cardinal signs are going to be going through a tremendous amount of shifts these next 2 weeks, okay? So tune back in on Friday. We'll have a video for you, an empowerment video. Until then, comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I'm just sending you blessings for a cosmic, stardusted, sparkly week ahead. Bye, everyone.